Should we take away some from him and give it to this country? Should we mix it up a little bit? Should we do this? And you can go ahead and fight over where you think the foreign aid should go. But what's the other alternative? No foreign aid. It's not authorized in the Constitution. We're told maybe we should allow Poland and Hungary and other nations into NATO, and some of them say, no, we shouldn't do that, it's too soon, it'll offend the Russians. There's another alternative that they never allow to be discussed, and that is we get out of NATO, let Poland have our seat. There's all kinds of, and of course, as far as false alternatives, look at the elections that we're presented with. Look at the false alternatives. CFR candidate A, CFR candidate B. You have a choice? No, you don't have any choice at all. Right. Well, as I stated at the beginning of this survey of recent history, my purpose was to introduce you to a conspiracy that threatens everything we hold dear. If the insiders have their way, and I should mention the little book that I wrote called The Insiders, if the insiders have their way, they will take total control of this nation and even the world. They will destroy freedom. They will make slaves of all of us. They even are starting programs now to license parents, to allow them to have children or not to allow them to have children, to take over the children. Government will become a nanny and so on. And I'm not making this up. I sometimes wish I were. They will rule with brutality and treachery. They will tolerate no opposition. And it all stares us right in the face. Good leaders would never deal in secrecy and falsehood. If I've demonstrated anything, I hope I've demonstrated that we have been the victims, we Americans, of lying and secret plotting. It has only been done for this purpose, to keep the victims asleep and to fasten the threads of tyranny around the people without the people being aware until it's too late for them to do anything about it. But it's not too late to do anything about it. And that's key to our whole program. The lies can be countered. The conspirators can be exposed. Freedom can be preserved. What's needed is a plan to take our country back into the hands of the American people once again. And that, of course, is what the John Birch Society is all about. The Constitution of the United States says all bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives. That's why we have a TRIM program, to report to the people on how their representatives abide by the oath to the Constitution. Did they vote for high taxes and more government, or did they vote for lower taxes and less government? Millions of these TRIM bulletins put together for all 435 candidates help the people throughout the United States to know what their congressman is doing, not what he or she is saying. No one wants to be a slave, and government has the capability of making slaves of all of us. And so we go back again and we say Congress is the key. And one of the things that Congress can do is it can defund the left. There are thousands, literally thousands of programs helping to undermine America that are being funded with U.S. tax dollars. A good Congress could put a stop to it. A good Congress could derail the New World Order. That's what our program is all about. A well-informed people cannot be led into slavery. Isaiah the prophet lamented, "My people have been led into captivity because they had no knowledge." Well, that's very clear, isn't it? If they'd been aware, they would not have been led into captivity. And the same thing applies here. Had they had good information, they would have been able to stay free. TRIM bulletins and all of the educational material distributed by the John Birch Society can keep us free. We cited some lines of verse written by James Russell Lowell earlier. You may recall I quoted him as saying, "Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne." But he didn't end that rather discouraging assessment. Let me give you a few more of his lines that convey his message of hope for the future. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne, yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. God does watch over us. And he will help us if we first do whatever we can to put falsehood and treachery on the scaffold and truth back on the throne. Thank you very much.